in this episode, we'll be speaking to angel moms, one of whom is one of us, Rosette Najemba, and the other is Dennis Kechimuri. Arin Kechimuri. Yes, so they will be sharing with us the experiences that they had and how they made it through.
Oh, wow. I think I realized a day after I had the child, because I was in labor for 12 hours. That's the longest I've been in labor. And it so happens the doctor I had booked wasn't readily there for me then. So I had midwives that, just kept checking, but not exactly, attending to you. And I think for me, that's where most of the problem came from. So while I was in labor all this time, I didn't know what to do. I had no advice from anybody. Well, after the 12 hours, the baby came. However, he was distressed. He was very exhausted. He got tired to a level that, every child has to cry loud when they come. He didn't cry that much. So at that point, I didn't know, because then I thought, oh, what a relief. Okay, yes, this is done. Baby hadn't, gone yet. So I was really excited. I'm like, Hughes, it was my first child. And for every mother, the first experience, like, you're really expectant. Oh, God. Wow. Okay, I'll put myself together. Yeah, I was very expectant, because for me it was going to be my first experience, my first child, but... Okay, the question is, when did I know there was a problem? Yeah. When the baby came, they rushed him to the intensive care unit because of the problem he had. He was very distressed. He wasn't as active as they expected. He didn't reach the level. What do they call it? Like, every child has that expectancy. I think it's 10. He was a bit low. So yeah, when they rushed him, of course I was with my mom, my sister. Habi was there, but then.
Had your doctor come at this point?
Sorry?
Never came.
Oh, he never showed up?
No, he didn't show up. All this time I'm with the midwives. But at this point I'm like, oh, what a relief. Like, I'm done with this pain. Okay, the baby's here, thank God. When they rushed him to the ICU, he was there in the night. He actually made it. He passed on the 5th day. Like, all this time he was in the ICU. But as, okay, the next, he was taken to the ICU. But then for me, I knew that, okay, maybe, there's something really minor. He will come through it or something. Because my mom kept encouraging me, oh, the baby's good, he's alive. Oh, he was a beautiful boy. He was very beautiful. So the next day is when I went to check on him. And for me to be told that I can't feed him, they needed to use the pipes for him to feed. That's when I started to worry.
Yeah.
I started to worry a bit, but I'm kind of positive, a person. I don't really want to dwell on the negative. I was positive the whole time. I'm like, he will make it. He'll go through this. But well, he didn't. But yeah, that's the point I realized there was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the second day, when I had to just walk to the ICU, not an ordinary where they'll bring your child to you and everything is well. Yeah, I had to move there. We just kept walking to the ICU, and unfortunately for this big hospital in Kampala, oh God, we have a lot to do with our hospitals. I had to move miles from where the labor ward was to where the ICU was, and it was just draining. I had my support system there. They kept me strong. My mom was on my side, my sisters, my family. I kept strong until the 5th day when they just said, you know what, this is it.
I happened to be a good friend to Rosette, and so I was there, and maybe the second day, and like, she says that, by the second day was when she started to worry. But like, for all the days that we went to see her, mind you, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, Rosette like gave us hope. Yeah. Like even for me to hear her say, it was day 2. I'm like, no, like I don't remember that. Like every time somebody came, the first thing she would do was tell us, let's go to ICU and pray for the baby. And I remember I would go and say, my gosh, he's so beautiful. Like it was those babies, you know, babies can come and you're like, your baby is nice. Yeah, your baby is nice. But like her son was absolutely stunning. Like, and I remember like she was the first one to give birth of all of us. He was like all of our baby. So then we go in and we'll just pray. And she always said that he's fine. And what's so funny is you'd ask the doctor what exactly is wrong. Yes. The nurses, no, the baby is fine. He just got tired from
the labor or something.
Okay. So when the 5th day came and we are going to have to go for burial, like none of us,
So it
came.
Yeah.
Who broke the news?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was hard. They told it's my husband that broke it to me. But I like that it was him who broke it to me because the support was there. Got strength from him. Yeah, the doctors kept hiding. I think on the day before they could announce, they knew that they knew it was going to happen. They knew that, he had lost it. They were not going to be able to do anything about it. Yeah. So when he broke it to me, he just held me and said, honey, we have each other. He's gone, but we'll have more. So we'll have to accept this.
Do you understand that sometimes people tend to equate the amount of pain or loss depending on the amount of time that you've spent with the child, yet it doesn't really, the two sometimes are not really related. Because when somebody loses a 3-month pregnancy, you cry. You lose a 3-month baby, you cry. 5 months, or do you feel that there is a difference? Do you feel that if I hadn't had him for that long, the pain might not have been that much?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because right from the time you conceive, right from conception, you're excited about the news.
Yeah.
When your baby hits a month, you're like, oh, it's a month now. Like you celebrate every month. I know that for sure that you celebrate every month. So even if it was at 8 months and you lose it, that is even long. Like you're close to the D-Day. Even if it's 3 months, it's still a huge loss. Yeah. So I don't think, regardless of the time, it's hard to take in.
So yours 5 days. 6 months, same thing.
Yeah.
So yours is 5 days and you're moving to and from the ICU to see your child. You don't even get a chance to be with your child.
Exactly.
Denise is same day. Yeah. The child was born and died on the same day. So I don't know, did you tell something, did you know something was wrong? Did anyone tell you something was wrong? What took you to the hospital then? Was the baby due? Was it your EDD? And so what happened?
The baby came early, that's what happened. At 8 months, Christmas morning. My water broke. Christmas morning.
Oh, Christmas Day.
Yeah. Wow. So my water broke and I didn't know what water breaking means. You know, in movies you see, yeah. I don't know. It's like a slow thing, and it's like susu.
Yeah.
So you're like, no. I was like, no, it can't be because we have 1 more month left. You know, so these are things in your head you're not thinking that way, right? And they don't prepare you. Like your mind should be alert at this time. Giving birth is something very dangerous. They don't. They just say, muzale. You people have died giving birth. Kids have died trying to come into this world, and they don't give you that information. So, for me, that Christmas morning, I was like, which book is this now? which book do I get to read this? But thank God my doctor was there. He walked me through it. So by the time I got to the hospital, I was freaking out. But because of my doctor, he calmed me down. I was like, no, it's never that serious, Kecho. And you know what? I'm going to be with you step by step. I don't know, a doctor moves from their home on Christmas morning to come and be with you there.
Yes.
As you do your scans and figure. And yeah, I was like, this guy is heaven sent. So, yeah, when you get a good guy, it's really just thank God. Yeah. So, the going to the hospital was because of that. And then now he's like, I have to admit you. I was like, hey, no, Christmas. I am going home.
So are you never?
I wasn't even, there are no contractions. This is just water, and it's water that's not stopping. Do you understand? Like, you just keep changing that goo pad, and you just keep changing and changing. And then at some point I was like, this is very serious. Eh? Then he's looking at me, he's like, I can't let you go because you might get infections. Which is just the worst thing, Kecho. So get in. I was like, okay. Then he's like, okay, now I'm going to give you steroids so that we can speed up the process. The last thing to develop in your child is their lungs. You know, the first thing to develop is like your anus, your asshole. That's the first thing you get. It's just there. It's like a tadpole. Then you, the least expected. There's a lady I was talking to, and her baby was 7 weeks. 3 months. And she said, Kecho, he was see-through. I said, yeah. They don't have that skin, has not yet, it doesn't yet come on. She's like, I looked at her and I was like, ew. I said, yeah, you did ew for your own baby. Saying, oh my God. I was like, yes, but these are things we are not being told. So when Emma admitted me, I was like, okay, fine, let's do this. So we did the steroids to try and pump it up. And then I was there 25th, 26th, 27th, then 28th. He's like, okay, let's go in. Now at that point I was like, okay, so preemie, because my brother had 2 preemies, 6 months and I think 8. So I was like, we are going to go through this. It will be fine. It was not even in my head that this baby might not come. Actually, what was in my head was I might not come out. Because during that time, there's a time on Mama Tendo, I think between November, and people were dying. Chicks were chicks were giving birth. So I even left the group. I was like, I don't need this around me. So I left. And then I was just, because even when I was going in, I was praying, God, let me come out. Imagine that. Those were my prayers. I wasn't even on my child. Because I was like, we got this. We've done this twice. We're going to roll in. They'll put like an injection. You will breathe. She'll breathe and we'll be fine. Wow. Yeah. So I actually I didn't almost die, but you know there's that thing when the C-section, they need to give us a whole like term paper, like a course.
And tell you what you're signing up.
Because these people who do elective, but now I'll come in on about 20 watt and I don't know how they're doing that. And they have no complications whatsoever. It's just, I chose this date. I pray for them. And it gets harder the older you are. You don't bounce back as fast. Like up to now, I still have issues. And I was like, God help me. But while we're on the table, because you know your pressure, it's major surgery. And they don't tell you it's major, they're opening you up. So at some point, I think my pressure went down. You know, I think where you hear in your ears, it's just... I was like, this is it. So I started telling Emma, Emma, tell my sister she can take my bags and stuff like that. And then he's like, no, Kecho, I got you. Now, when they pulled her out, there's that, it's like a popping section. And everything, you feel like nauseated, you're what? And she's cramped. So my dad was like, those lungs are good. Those lungs are good. Because we could hear her. They brought her, they put her on me. I was fine. Then they took her away because they were like, okay, now she scored 8 out of 10. So I was like, what is that too? That was what was bugging me now. Imagine. And then I kept, you know, you zone out. You actually literally zone out for some time. And I just kept asking, what's that too? What's that too? I didn't know what that too was. So now from there, I started getting worried. That for me now was my worry point. Then I kept hearing something, one lung, and I was like, can't be lung. The chick is still screaming. They're moving her back to the nursery and she's screaming. So anyway, we get out safely. I tell Emma I fear pain, so I told him double the painkillers. Well, I don't want to feel like, I don't want that thing where it wears off. I just want numbness. So he's laughing. I'm like, no, seriously. And I think he actually did not take me seriously. Because at some point I was given Panadol advance.
I've been told you're not the first person.
I was given Panadol, and I looked at I threw the things at the chick, and the chick looked at me. But that's what's written. I said, listen, nah? You know that they give horses, those ones, bring. So when I got to the room, actually, because you're still, man, you're out, you're still trying to get back, and you have no feeling or whatever. So at that point, I think we went in at 12, came at about 2:33. My breast milk just, you know, when you're sitting there and you're just, I was like, guys, this chick is hungry. So can somebody go get her for me? Now, this whole time, people are running in the NICU, and we were not even allowed. One, my sister wasn't allowed in the surgery with me because it's only husbands. No one was allowed to go into the NICU with my daughter because it's only husbands. So what happens if you have no husband? Yeah? So I was like, who is there? So I sent my cousin Nina to go and check. Nina took hours. It felt like a long time because I was like, just get and bring. It's simple. So then the next thing I'm seeing, the nurse came and she you know, I'm like, okay, something is off. But you see, because you're on the drugs, you're woozy, you're what, you're literally not getting what's happening. You're like in a slow-mo movie. So I was like, what's happening here? What? Next thing, Dora goes out. Our firstborn, my big sister, goes out. Next thing, I see Emma coming in. I was like, hey, yay. And he's not smiling. Emma smiles. He's 100% smiling. I was like, wow, this is serious. So I remember the one lang, and I was like, hey, we might be here for a while.
This is the number 2.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. Then he came, Kecho. I'm sorry, the baby. I didn't hear after that. Like, I didn't hear. And he was talking, but I wasn't. I don't know what he said. I don't even know. I didn't know until I left the hospital when they gave me the kachit, the cadets, what she died of. Because me, at some point, I was like, yeah, I knew. And I shrugged it off. But now I was like, okay. And at that point, I was like, bring her. Because I was like, I need to see for myself. And then he asked me a question which I realized we are not even prepared, even in the system, in the health sector. If you lose a child, they don't want you to see the child, yet you need closure. Because that question of, are you sure? It should have been like, can we bring her? That should have been the question. So when I go back through that, I'm like, gosh, there are so many gaps in here. We have the thing that we are told always is that saying, the only things that are sure in life are death and taxes. Yet, taxes, you have a whole authority, organization. Death, I don't know, now it becomes for the family. There's no organization. Because even from there, my sister, now I had her story later, one of the interviews, and she was like, we went to A+. And they didn't have any idea they had no package. It was not there. So the guy was like, it's a hardy paper. We don't even. So we had to buy our own coffin. Then we just asked them to embalm her so that she can be kept for a while, because we didn't know now. My sister was like, we didn't know whether we were going to bury her at my husband's or mine. And then me, I was like, there's no way I'm missing this stuff. So if it means you are going to move me in an ambulance, we are going to go. But yeah, I was still in hospital. And now that I know why there are city lots in cemeteries. It's for those occasions. It's for children. Actually, outside countries, that's what it's for. And old people, like those old people who have no relatives, that's where they bury them from. But if you have your home, you go. But Uganda, planning, nothing. Yeah. So that for me was.
Thank you.